All right, ladies and gentlemen, for both AP Chemistry and Physics, we're going to talk about how to use graphical analysis. Now, what you should, at this point, you should have already downloaded graphical analysis. This should be on the Monday for you guys. And what we're going to do is that if you open it up, you're going to get this screen, and it's data collection, data sharing, or manual entry. The two you'll be using this semester is sensor collection and manual entry. Also, if you go to the right, you see Open Save File, right? You see my mouse. You're going to be using that as well, and we'll have things that we're going to talk about. So I'm going to open up a file because hopefully I have that. I'm going to show you some of the operations we have with this data. And as you notice, I got the spinning beach ball of death. And let's see, it's not in downloads, I don't think. Well, maybe. Let's see, where did I have? Oh, there it is. This is something my college physics kids did, and we're going to open this up, and we're going to notice the graph. Now, with this open, I'm going to show you a couple of things we're going to do. I'm going to go clockwise around. Let's start here. This is, you notice this is the file we have open. And you got 5 things here. One is new experiment. So if you're doing something and you're getting things set up and you got some things open like this, go ahead and hit new experiment. You're going to get to an empty file. Open something up. Save this, and this will save to your Google Drive. So make sure you hit save and save it. If you do something to a file and you want to save it as something else, that's save as. And export. You can export as a .cvs, separated values. This is for importing into Excel or numbers. And this is, you want to graph the image and basically export these as an image file. So you got several things that you can do from this top left. Again, new experiment, open up an experiment, save an experiment, save as is a different name, and export. Those are the ones on the left. Now we're going to come to the right, and we're going to look at this. This is what we call view options. Open this up, and you got several options that you need to do. One graph. The screen comes into one graph. And this is an experiment, and I'm going to see if I can expand this a little bit. Whoops, not that way. This way, so expand my screen. And basically, now we just have one graph, and we'll talk about that later. And then you got 2, and you notice this. We're going to talk about those in a minute. No, I don't want an integral. Sorry about that. So 3 graphs, a table. That's the table of the data sets. You notice that in this experiment, I did 20 of them. Some of them worked. Some of them actually, if you notice back here, this one didn't work. Oops. And so it saves everything you do, absolutely everything. And we can look at various experiments. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Meter. If there was something attached to this, there will be a meter. So like if I was looking at temperature, looking at time, there will be a meter here, or pH, and you can use the meter for things. Graph and table. There's the graph and there's the table. And then you can do all 3. Since I don't have anything attached to this computer at this time, you can't see the meter. And that's, you make sure we'll show you how to get the meter when we get to class. So that's with this button. Here are the things that we're going to see. We've got 3 graphs and so forth. The 3 dots. You got about, presentation. What's this look like to you? Increase or decrease the screen depending upon what you're looking at. User manual, if you want to get deeper involved. Check for updates, and description on what's new with the software. So that is this 3 dots. We don't use that often. We'll definitely use this one and this one. Now we're going to come down to the lower right, sensor setup. Now you notice I don't have any devices connected. It does have a USB. There are some devices that have USB that connects directly to your computer. We don't have that. But what we'll do is we have a device connected, and at this point, we can zero things out, calibrate, and we'll do everything with sensors here. Also, there'll be another one here to, if there's more than one sensor, you're going to get more of these down here on the bottom. So this we'll probably end up talking more about when we do the experiments, because we actually have equipment logged into this. And these, you're going to see the lower right be things associated with the sensors. So that's the lower right. Now, if we come to the lower left, we have data collection settings. You'll be messing with this a couple of times. And basically, we're looking at, is it time-based, the mode, time. We had a signal, something based on the mode. At this time, it's grayed out because I downloaded the information into the software, and I can't change these. If it's not grayed out, I can mess with it. Start collection, end collection. Total points, excuse me, wrong day. Total points, samples, that's how many points we are taking. So after 5 seconds, we've taken 100 points, over 100 points. So something you will be using this to help adjust some things we're doing. Okay, sometimes you don't hit it right. We may start things at the right time. We're going to be changing how long it is, how many the rate, or how many the intervals, so we increase the number of samples. So you'll be using this. I'm going to hit cancel. This will zoom in the data. So this is my zoom, and if I just click on one graph, I can zoom, or I can zoom into a portion of the graph. And you notice I was able to change one graph, or I can do all three. Now, double click back, and you double click on the graph, and it will get things from zeroed in, and it gets it back to full top and bottom, maximum, minimum, and the length of time. So reset your graph to what it was initially, just double click. So that's it, and that's what this does. Zoom for all the data or just individual graphs. All right. This button on the left, Graph Tools. We can view statistics. So we highlight the area in question, we view the statistics. In this one, let's go to one graph. There we go. And let's go ahead and view statistics, because it'd be better if we just looked at one graph at a time. And this is the statistics of everything. It gives me the mean, standard deviation, minimum, maximum, and the change in Y over that period. So now we have some statistics on the graph. And you will be using this button. We could do an integral. So I'm integrating, and if you guys are in calculus, you'll be able to use this more. We won't, not this integral, because this is algebra based. But apply curve fit. And you notice this is linear, but we can also do quadratic. It's not really fitting. Power. And you got all these different sign. That's not bad. So if we ignore this part, this actually meets the sign. So, and actually what we can do is, let me get rid of this. Highlight between, say, you got also highlight part of the curve and hit curve fit, sign, and there's our graph, and here's the information. A, B, C, and D. It lists all the constants. X is my variable, and here's all the constants. So this is what we do with on evaluating the graphs. Now, if we want to do linear, so I'm going to pick this point. We'll go to a linear curve fit, apply. Y equals mx plus b. Here's my range, here's my slope, intercept, and here's my regression coefficient. We have, this is given to you. Notice it's negative. That means it's a negative correlation with this part of the line, part of the graph. Here's my intercept, and here's my slope. slope. So we have all that, and you'd be using this in your laboratories. So get out of that, and let's see anything else. Edit graph options, you're going to use basically statistics and curve fit, and we'll talk about the others if we need to get to there at that point. Two more things we need to talk about in this video. Time. Click on this, we can change the variable on the x-axis. Right now, we're going to makes sense to have time, that's our independent variable, but in case you want to change it, this is what you can change it to. And on the left, you can change the columns as our dependent variable. We can look at velocity, or you can add 2 or 3. Let's go to position. And on the left-hand side, you get to look at the data sets that we're looking at. You notice we've got 20 data sets. I'm looking at the 20th one. So that's what this left button does. That is it. This is what graphical analysis. We'll be using this in physics and AP chemistry. So I want you guys to be aware of this, understand, work on this. The number 2 card on a ramp is experiment number 2. I will post it. I posted that for the CEP physics. We'll mess with it with the regular physics class and the AP chemistry class. I'll post it on there. It's not for a grade. I just want you guys to get used to working with graphical analysis. All right, thank you, folks.